doing a lot of hindsight research on mobile bars, along with my COO, Dawn, because in order to figure out where the industry is going, we have to kind of see where it's been, right? And I've got 4 or 5 years now working with mobile bar owners, being in the bar industry myself, and we've noticed an interesting trend, and I'm going to share it with all of you. In general, mobile bar owners have about 18 to 24 months to make it to the 6-figure mark in order to make it to 5 years. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that if mobile bar owners aren't making 6 figures in the first 18 to 24 months, they are way more likely to sell or close down their bar. Way more likely to sell or close down their bar. And we're seeing a ton of that right now because a lot of times right now, a lot of people started their project during COVID. And they started the renovations, they started the branding, they started the website, they started the networking. And what they found was this is a really difficult industry. And so if they're not already making 6 figures after 18 to 24 months, they decide that there's easier ways to make money. They're going to sell off their bar, whatever inventory they have, whatever business they have, and they're going to find something else to do. If, however, you can make it to that 6-figure mark in the first 18 to 24 months, you will likely stick around until about the 5-year mark, and then we see people exit again. Now, for some of you might out there having panic attacks. This is a generalization for the vast majority of people that get into this industry. There are some outliers that are able and willing and interested in continuing to run their mobile bar beyond the 5-year mark. We have OGs out there that have been doing this for a long time, and they will continue to do this for a long time. But you know what? They're not solopreneurs anymore. They have teams. They have potentially additional locations. They have general managers, partners, multiple, rigs. They do big events. Some of them do festivals. Maybe they have contracts where they're, working for, other entire venues or colleges, that sort of thing. 5 years is about the average that the average mobile bar will make it. And I have some theories on this. I'd also love to hear if you guys want to share. Does this feel like it resonates as true, that what you recognize in the industry as well? The 5-year mark happens to be the people who are making the 6 figures in the first 2 years. They get to a point where they're making good profit, they're making enough money, and they recognize they've also, in those 5 years, developed skill sets that enable them to utilize those same skill sets in another industry or doing another thing that has higher profit margins or makes it's easier money to be made. Sophia says, this is what has discouraged me despite everyone telling me to do it. I hear you. So this is why I'm actually on here and I'm having this conversation, because we've seen a lot of mobile bars start to drop out of the industry right now, which could cause some fear in a lot of people. And I had a video the last time I talked about the recession and how that's going to, if people who really don't have the guts to stick with it, now's the time they're going to get out because they're like, events are going to, start to go down, and I'm not in it for that, right? Totally fine. However, also a real truth, more millionaires and billionaires are made during recessions than any other time. So it doesn't mean business can't be successful during a recession. It just means you really got to want it, right? And so I also want to, in this little conversation here, I want to address why people get out of the mobile bar industry. If they get out in the first 18 to 24 months, it's because they didn't make any money. They're just not making money at it. They haven't been in it long enough, or they haven't had their attention in the right places. And this is not an easy industry to make money at. It's just not. Now, I've got a formula. You can make money in this business. It's not like impossible. It's not even hard. You just have to know where to focus and where to spend your time so that you're not like shiny object syndrome, right? So if you get there, in the first 18, 24 months, 6 figures, you have a much better chance of making it to the 5-year mark. You're likely, if you make it the 18, 24 months, you'll make it to the 5-year mark if you want to. And you'll be profitable and you'll be making good money. And it'll be it's the first time that mobile bar owners and entrepreneurs are going to be making sufficient money where they recognize, one, I am an entrepreneur. I can do this. And that gives people confidence. But then they're going to start introspectively asking themselves, is there a way for me to do this and be this entrepreneur in a way that isn't this fucking hard, right? Where I'm not lugging 200 pounds of ice, 300 pounds of ice, where I'm not giving up my Fridays and my Saturdays, where I'm not having to manage a team of part-time contractors or even full-time, staffers at that point where everyone's calling off left and right. We've got, various competitive, they've got day jobs over here, or they've got restaurant jobs over here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? And so they start thinking, what have I learned and what do I know about myself as an entrepreneur that I can utilize those same skill sets, potentially even the same network and the same community that I've used to build this mobile bar to do other things. And so I actually went back to the founders group of Mobile Bev Pros, which has been around since 2017, the founders group. And I took a look at the people that were in and are still in that group and whether or not they still had a mobile bar and what they were doing now. This is just a rundown of a couple of them. 3 of them are now building mobile bars for other mobile bar companies. 2 of them have mixer companies. 2 of them have their own brick and mortar restaurants now. I'm an educator, teaching people about business and how to start and run their own mobile bars. And this is what I want to share with you. If you've gotten into the mobile bar space and you're wanting to get into the mobile bar space and you're scared because you're like, Sarah just told me, like, if I start this business, the max that I'm going to be in it likely is 5 years. Do it anyways. And here's why. Because the people who do, they build the confidence, the skill set, they build the profitability levels to do that next thing. And it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for their mobile bar. It wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for their mobile bar. And mobile bars might just be the gateway, and for a number of different reasons. One, it's fairly low in skill set, and I don't mean that in a bad way. You don't have to know how to bartend in order to succeed in this business. That might be an insult to a lot of the mobile bars out there that are like, hey, I'm a bartender, I've done this, everyone thinks it's so easy. No one's saying it's easy. I'm just saying that slinging drinks is the least complicated thing we do, if we're real with ourselves, right? It's the least complicated thing that we do. And so we can hire someone who has that skill set and still run a very profitable mobile bar. Matter of fact, my most successful clients that are now in the multi 6 figures making buco bank didn't come in with a bartender skill set. And I have theories as to why that is, but I'm going to save that for another video. The ones that are out there making the most amount of money, they put their CEO hat on and they ran that thing with the recognition that they could not sling drinks. So they had to hire people who knew how to sling drinks, and they got to focus on the business and the marketing and all of those important aspects of running a mobile bar company. Okay. So you don't have to have a whole lot of skill in order to start one of these businesses. And so we're a great entry level company or business type because it's attractive, it's fun, it's creative. You get to get out there, you get to build a lot of skill sets, wear a lot of hats, and we build all of these skill sets. And at the end, we get to be like, how can I do all of this in a way that makes me more money, gives me my weekends back, and I get to still be my own boss? And there's magic in that. There's magic in that. And so while I know some people are probably like, oh shit, I'm only going to get 5 years at most. That's not true. One, there's a lot of mobile bars out there that have been in it for longer than that. They have multiple revenue streams now. They're doing cocktail tasting classes. They're doing, virtual stuff. They've got mixers. They've got simple syrups. They've got all sorts of things, right? But the skills they build through this industry are building empires. and it doesn't necessarily look like a mobile bar. The empire doesn't necessarily look like a mobile bar. And we've got some awesome comments here. I'm going backwards. Own a bar with a caterer's permit and liquor license. Inquiries find my price is too high in most cases, but I know they're being taken by bartenders not going by the book. Oh my gosh, I want to address that in a second. I've been approached about franchising. That's amazing. Franchising is amazing, space. If you can get to a place where you're franchising the brand that you've spent the time systematizing and building the reputation for and creating the actual building blocks that someone else can just walk in and start their own mobile bar, then you are literally helping them build their empire. Right? That's how I see it. What I'm doing, I'm helping other people get to the place where they can build their own empire by sharing what I know and what I do and the structures I've created. And so yes, what better and greater opportunity is there in life? Sophia, can't be afraid to fail. No, you can't. You can't. And there's no such thing as failure. I probably addressed this before, but there's no such thing as failure, right? You can try things, and even if you fail, you learn something. And so the failures of people who have started mobile bars and shut them down, or started mobile bars and sold them off, they didn't fail in this industry. They just learned a variety of things that indicated to them that this was not what they wanted to do or what was the right thing for them to do. And that's okay, right? We are just such an amazing learning ground for people who are taking the skill sets that they have and building it into something that they can do for a lot longer. You can't lug ice forever, you could own a mobile bar for a really long time. But do you want to deal with the scheduling and the staffing and all of that, right? Emily says it makes total sense. Yeah. Guys, I love to hear your feedback. Failure is a learning experience. Absolutely. And so whether you're in that 18 to 24 months and maybe that's the thing, right? If you're pre 18 to 24 months and you're I want to make a go of this, I can help you. If you're in that 18 to 24 months and you're trying to decide I'm not there yet. And is this the right thing for me or not? It's not too late if you really want to make a go of this. But also, there are easier ways to make money out there than the mobile bar business. And if you, in 18 to 24 months, have not broken the code there yet, you've not, gotten into the preferred vendor lists, and you don't have the network of event planners, and you don't have the venues that are calling you and prefer you, and you aren't out there, consistently on social media, and your lead funnel and your fly traps, they aren't churning and they aren't creating a ton of inflow for you, there might be other better things for you to be utilizing your time and your resources and your capital in doing, because this is definitely not an easy industry to be in. And for you OGs that are out there 3, 4, 5 years, if you're asking yourself what next, I can help you. If you're asking yourself, how do I get out of this mobile bar and pivot into something else? I can help you. Whether it's licensing, franchising, whether it's selling it off, whether it's passing it on, whatever that looks like for you. Whatever that next thing is, if you don't know, I can help get you clarity, utilizing the skills and the resources and the talents that you've already curated over the past 5 years. Why? Because I know what it is. I know what it looks like. I know how you can utilize them. And I've seen dozens of other people, use their skills and the things that they've learned in this industry to do other things. First time I did it, I never bartended ever, only a server. Within a month, I was booked for 6 events. Totally was meant to see this live. Yay! Tyler, I don't have any of that. All my business is word of mouth. That's, then you do have some of that. You have made the network. You have created the relationships. And that's part of that. We are super fortunate to have found MVP MBA. I feel all of us working together with ideas will create the best possibility of success. Absolutely, Brian. I feel fortunate that you have found us as well, because you're part of my ability to turn around and provide this information to other people, watching this done 1,000 times over from various different bars, and seeing people start and grow and succeed and then sell off or to transition into something else. That's not failure. That's an evolution of success. And it's that's gold. That's glorious. And so wherever you are in your mobile bar journey, I'm here to support you And I also don't want you to feel like you're failing if at any stage in this journey you decide the mobile bar business isn't for you. It's really hard. It's really hard. And the people that get into this industry, they can do hard things. And you know how I know that? Because they're coming to us not only from the hospitality industry, which is hard. Everybody knows that. It's hard, probably the hardest, right? For a number of various different reasons. They're also coming to us from the nursing side of things, also really fucking hard. Really, really hard. The teaching industry, really hard. Really, really hard, right? These are the most prominent and frequent industries that I see coming to the mobile bar space because they want creativity. They want control over their own schedule. They want to be able to work at gorgeous, beautiful places. They want to have a Pinterest-worthy life, and they want a, creative outlet. They want to deal with people who are happy and not just sick or like needing education. This industry has a lot of attractive things about it, and it is the perfect, I wanted to say breeding ground. I don't know if that's an appropriate term, but I'm going to say it's the perfect breeding ground for developing the skills, the confidence, and the tools necessary to take your entrepreneurial game to that next level. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.